You are listening to 3 Point Lead presented by Loeb's Leads, the podcast to give you everything you need to know in the sports world on a small, medium, or large scale. Today we have a shorter episode, but an awesome interview with Kyahva Tezino, one of the best linebackers in spring football, a guy who spent the entire season last year with the San Francisco 49ers, learning from the best like Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, an unbelievable talent, an unbelievable person with a very cool journey that you guys are going to love to hear about. But before we get into that episode, I want to give a very brief shout out to our sponsor, Better Pick. It's my favorite way to enjoy fantasy sports. We pick more or less on our favorite player stats to win up to 1,000 times our entries. And right now, Better is offering a first deposit match of up to $250 if you go to my social and join with code LEADS. That's LEADS, LEADS, all caps on Better Picks. Without further ado, let's get into the interview with Kyahva Tezino, a former Pittsburgh Mauler, somebody I worked with very closely last year, a Birmingham Stallion, a United Football League champion this past season. Let's get into it. We now welcome in UFL champion Birmingham Stallions linebacker Kyahva Tezino, fresh off of an unbelievable performance in the championship game. 9 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery. Tez, I know you were on the other side last year. How different was it being on the winning side in a championship game this year?
I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
I definitely, I guess I could say, I got the opportunity to experience both sides. And I mean, obviously winning is always the better feeling. But I mean, being on the opposite side last year, it was definitely different as far as, the type of play style, the type of, the brotherhood. I feel like, well, the brotherhood is always kind of the same. But I just say that like the play style and the I guess the energy and the talent level was a little bit different this year. But I would say as far as this year with the Stallions, it was definitely a lot more competitive, a lot more, obviously watch and stream wise and stuff like that. So it was a great experience overall. I mean, like I said in the interview, that's been everywhere now. It was just an opportunity that I couldn't take for granted. I mean, and I'm still grateful right now, even sitting at home enjoying the off season right now. But I know that praying that I get a call here soon. So but definitely grateful. I mean, it's been amazing. I mean, both of the experience, even getting a chance to go and having that opposite side of losing and getting that experience to even play in the championship was just a good opportunity also, because it just fueled me to do better and know how to approach this year championship. So I mean, and I made the most of it and we won, so it was great.
Exactly. Yeah, you get the experience of the other side. You know what not to do and how to handle the situations leading up to the week too. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people overlook that, right? The exposed media, they're more exposure to the media, more interviews, everything like that. It's definitely an underrated part of all of that championship game process. I'm glad you brought up the different energies on this side now too, because I mean the Stallions are a team that's won 3 years in a row. You guys lost 1 game this past year. I am curious above anything else how you were able to just block out that noise this year, because you hear Birmingham Stallions and think this is the team that's has a target on their back. Everybody wants to beat them. They are the team to beat. How did you block out the noise throughout the season?
Truthfully, I didn't even. I mean, it's definitely tough. I could say it's definitely tough because you're like the staple of spring football. I mean, if
Yeah.
so it's definitely tough. But I think the way that Skip did a great job of blocking it out. He just always said, we just got to win one game at a time. Don't look in the past, don't look in the future. Just stay in the moment right now. And I think that he did a really good job of making sure the whole team knew that, and we had an idea of like, it doesn't matter what our record is. We just got to go win one game at a time, and then we look up, and then we'll be where we need to be. I mean, and we looked up, and we were all the way. I think when we lost to San Antonio the first time, I think we were like, I want to say 7 or 8-0, I
Yeah.
believe. I mean, and then we lost, and then everybody was like, oh wow, we lost. Even on the team, we was like, we was like, damn, we lost. But once we got that, I think we needed that, truthfully, because that gave us that extra push to the championship. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could have went undefeated and could have did things better, but that loss put that fire in us to make us like, okay. And obviously, you've seen how we played against them in that championship game like that.
Yeah.
That just fueled it. But it definitely tough, man. But I gotta give props where they're due, and it was all to Skip about that one. So
Yeah, absolutely. Talk a little bit about Skip too, because I know it's a name that a good amount of people are familiar with. I mean, this is the coach that's won 3 straight years in spring football. Like you said, the staple of spring football is the Birmingham Stallions, but it's also Skip Holtz. How was your experience with Skip this season?
it was great. I mean, the way he runs things is definitely different from what I've experienced in the spring league. But I mean, it works. So
Hmm.
I mean, it's just kind of like a thing. It's kind of like the old saying, if it's something it's something that's not broke, why fix it? I mean, it's been working for him. I mean, I've got an opportunity to come along and see how it worked, and I mean, it works. I mean, no complaints there. I mean, at the end of the day, some may say it's difficult, some may say it's hard, some may say it's long, but I mean, it works. I mean, and at the end of the day, you're gonna feel good at the end of the day about it because you win games and you win championships. So um, I think that him as a head coach, he's a good head coach. He knows exactly what he's doing as far as personnel, as far as keeping the team together, what to say to the team, and obviously keeping the team uh, not getting above themselves, like because obviously they've won 6+ games every year since the spring league started back. So I think he's done a great job of always keeping his team non-complacent and just keeping them humble and making them go out there and just play. I mean, in that championship game, it was just like you could just feel like they, obviously they have been there before, but it's like they've been there before.
Yeah.
It's a difference between you're there the first time and it's like you've been there, like you know what it is, you know what it takes, you know what it's going to be, you know what the outcome's going to be. So I think that's what he brings, and obviously that just comes with him being there so many times. But it was definitely a great experience, being under him and getting to see how he runs things, uh, and have nothing but respect for him and love for him. So I appreciate everything he's done for me, and will continue to do so. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was definitely a pleasure watching you guys fly around on Sunday too. I know you talked about it a little bit after the game. Tom Brady was out there presenting the MVP trophy to your quarterback, obviously.
Yeah,
But did you get the chance to talk to Tom Brady at all?
definitely. I mean, like I said in that little interview, after the game, I basically was telling one of the reporters that I was gonna fangirl out, but I pretty much jumped up on the stage, man, where I wasn't supposed to. That everybody was telling me no, I still did it anyway. And when it shook his hand, um, I mean, it's Tom Brady, man. Like I probably won't never see Tom Brady again. Who knows? But I shook his hand, made sure I looked him in his eye, and just made sure he, seen me and I seen him. So it was cool though, man. It was a great experience. I'll never forget it. So it was definitely cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who knows? Maybe you'll see Tom Brady down the line. He is in the
Yeah,
booth for Fox now, so who
yeah.
knows? Maybe you will see him. For those who are listening who don't know too much about the UFL, they produce players every single year who move
Hmm.
on to the league, not just players who are on a 53-man roster, right? You have Pro Bowl returners, Pro Bowl kickers, Pro Bowl receivers. Like you have players every year who come out of this spring league that are extremely talented, that contribute to rosters in different wavelengths. So I'm curious, two questions. One, the toughest player you go up against in practice every single day, because you know nobody better than the players you practice against every single day. But
Hmm.
two, the toughest player you had to play against on another team, because as time goes on, the season's been over for a week now. We're seeing players sign with the Giants, the Jets, players all over signing with teams, and fingers crossed down the line, you will get your call, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see who are the toughest players you had to play against. Anybody who has signed already? If not, who are the most difficult players you had to go against on a daily basis, as well as just during a game?
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is that last year I played against majority of the guys who was on the Stallions, so
Yeah.
I have a pretty good outlook on like everything just because I played against them and I played against now when I played with them this year I played against all the other guys this year too against the other guys, but I would say the guys in practice, man, who was always tough to practice against, even though we didn't really have too much contact, but like in camp.
Mhm.
I would say, man, it was probably the running back room was pretty stout. Ricky obviously
Yeah.
was what he is. Can go all day about how good he is, but him and CJ and Tree, man, them dudes was outstanding, bro. They made sure I brought my best every single day. The offensive line was good. I mean, they always one thing about them, they were very consistent in what they did about stand on their blocks and working up to the second level. I think that was very big for my development, because I've from time to time wasn't good at using my hands getting off blocks, but I feel like I've gotten 10 times better since I've been able to practice against them, and they've been able to come and give me that look. So I think those guys, and obviously the receivers, man. You got guys like Dion, and you got guys like Jace, who just every room, the tight ends and the receivers, man, they give a great look. Those dudes are definitely they definitely helped me with a lot of like seeing as far as like the offensive view of how things can be viewed as on the defensive side, as far as like a defender and the linebacker. Just the way they did things and the way they approached the practice every single day, as far as like their preparation and how they came out to practice. I mean, it was lights out. I mean, so I appreciate all of those guys. But I mean, so I would say, man, just from playing against them and being in practice against them, pretty much all of them dudes, they've definitely, have my respect, and they have
Yeah.
the hats off, man, because I seen them put in the work, and I also played against them. I can preach and vouch for them. So, but as far as like this year, I would say the team, I guess, the guy who was the toughest to play against, man, there's a couple guys. I would say, I would definitely say, I want to go down each team.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can go down each team. I would say let's go to the championship game. I would say number 41, the running back, was definitely, in my eyes, I thought he was their complete offense. I mean, I thought nothing went past him. Everything had to go through him to operate. I mean, so I think that was a big staple for us to be able to stop him, and then obviously the offense, they weren't able to do anything after we stopped him. So he was definitely a tough player to play against. And for Michigan, didn't really get to play against the quarterback. Forgot his name. He was number 17. He had got injured in our playoff, or for the last season in the game. He had jumped over somebody and hurt himself. But I thought he was going to be a good matchup to go against. But I mean, they also have their tight end also, who's very good. Their offensive line is solid. But yeah, I mean, I would say number 88 from the Battlehawks is also good. He's a good player. Let's see, DC. I think DC offensive line was pretty good. They run game when they came at us. They were honestly the first team to come at us and just run straight at us, like they weren't afraid. Wow. So I give them respect for that. But their running backs was hitting the gaps, man. They weren't afraid. We had to bring our big boy pants that game. So shout out to those dudes. And let's see. The Showboats, obviously, Vito. Vito's always going to be a solid player. The quarterbacks were always good. My boy Troy, he did his thing against us. Yep. He always is go. He always go do what he does. I mean, he's been doing it since I've known him. And then the receiver, I want to say his name is Day or Dede. I don't remember, but he was number 2. He was fast as hell, man. He just was electric. He just straight line runner, man. Just blow everybody, just run past everybody. And as far as Houston, man, they had some good running backs. Mark Thompson didn't play as much this year, but I mean, he still obviously is a good running back. Their other running back, TJ Pledger, I thought he was a really good running back. I thought he was able to do pretty much everything. He was pretty much, I feel like him and 41 for the Brahmas was pretty much the same kind of running back, but I guess he just wasn't in the system enough to be able to explode like how 41 did for the Brahmas. But I think he's a really good running back also. And then for what's the other teams?
You might have gotten everybody, honestly.
Yeah, I think I did. I got DC Battlehawks. I got I'm trying to get the XFL side. Houston. I got Showboats, Michigan.
What about Arlington? Anybody from Arlington?
Arlington, that's the one. How could I forget them? We were sharing a lot of ability with them. No, Arlington was definitely good. I mean, Luis Perez. I mean, you can never the most consistent guy in spring football. I mean, you can never look past him. He just knows the game, man. He's always every single year he's gonna be able to give you exactly what you need. And just be consistent. I mean, that's the biggest thing with football is being consistent. So definitely hats off to